Welcome back, Suits. For this episode, we will be working around and in between the text of Tetris. So sit back, relax, and let's build. To start this off, my first goal was to finish the top edge of the map. But while getting that top edge, I had to make sure that everything lined up so I had enough room for the blocks that were lower on the map. You can't see it now, but some of those blocks on that top edge are 20 to 30 blocks high. The reason for that is because it's easier to build down than to dig down. This S was a little tricky to work around. The reason for that is because it doesn't build off of itself like the I and T, but rather it builds off some of the spaces that's around it. Now that the S is finished and I'm happy with it, I start filling the area in with glass so that I can later fill it with water. After flooding the area to get that deep blue, I start adding in some detail. Once I was happy with that, I started working around the area below the S. I sectioned the area off, but I didn't want to fill it in. As you can see, I have my color scheme there, and I want to use that throughout this entire Let's Build. After finishing the inside of the S, I decided to change the shade on the letters. On the edges of the letters, I had a dark red, and I decided to change them to a lighter red. Working on this R was definitely the most difficult letter to work with. It could be because I was talking to my mom while working on it, but I don't want to point fingers. After finishing that area up, we get to work on the focal point of Tetris. This was a tricky area to work in, as there are many shades of gray. There was a lot of trial and error to make sure that the center area was the brightest, and it slowly got darker as it expanded out. If you look carefully, you can see that the area around the letters are a little darker than the areas themselves. I did this to create a sort of outline around the letters so that they can pop out a little more. As the camera slowly zooms out, we can see how the blocks interact with each other to create the top section of this map. As the session comes to a close, let's take one last look at that map and see how much work has been completed. And yet, how much work still needs to be done.